Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Look who's back. Look who's back, everybody. He's here.
Look
Sean
who's
always
back,
here.
back again.
I was going to have
Sean
like
is
some
back.
sort of intro music for you, like The Undertaker or something, but I thought I'd get
Oh
copyright
yeah.
strict for that.
Well, I definitely need the Undertaker music, especially after the COVID. Sweet mother of Jesus. I would have like literally rolled around in, I'd say, a mile of bloody vaccinations to get rid of the bloody thing. Was that bad? It was horrible. So there you
Well,
go.
you better now, mate. That's the best thing about it all, isn't it? So, guys, it's AKM episode 8, AKM Live episode 8, sorry. We're going to talk about the Copa America, the Euros. There's been a bit of breaking news a bit earlier today. Well, we say it's breaking news, but some kind of managerial appointments at Liverpool. There's that young kid that apparently they're going to sign from Chelsea. Some of the transfer links a little bit later on. Shauno's bringing back his Monday Moan. He's got a very good one as well, I will say. I think I kind of agree with what he's on about in that. But I think first and foremost, before we do anything, we do have to pass on our condolences, I'd say, to Martin. You'll know who we're talking about, guys. So, you know, his mother has sadly passed away. I have reached out to Martin privately and we've had a little brief conversation. But yeah, I just think as well, I can't really do a stream without mentioning it on here either. So, you know, yeah.
We might just want to say it's not Martin Mason who comes on here. It's Martin from Red Raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, obviously our condolences and our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and obviously Smooth as well, whose mother passed away, I think about a week or so ago. So we're all thinking of you, and yeah.
It's never easy to move on to the next subject anything after that.
No.
But guys, we're going to do the show. So just thought we'd do a little bit of a warm up. Oh, we got a comment. Let's have a look at this here. Gav's with us. Oh, Gav. So Gav, Sean, if you don't know, is one of the guys I've been giving a shout out in my videos lately. He is basically keeping me up to date with a lot of stuff about Liverpool when I'm at work. Gav. He's always on top of everything. So a massive shout out to Gav. Thank you, mate. I appreciate you so much. And yes, we'll be talking about that that lad. I've got a clip as well also for him. So yeah, we'll get into it. First and foremost, then, the Liverpool have appointed another coach. Doesn't seem to be big news. Not doing a lot of stuff everywhere. But he has taken the role of Vito Matos, if that's how you pronounce his name. I could never really nail down his name, to be fair. And I think he's coming in as the new elite development coach, filling the role left by Matos. And this is, guys, what I've got here. Let me go, bring it up. There we go. So this is what he is. He's got an impressive resume, it says here. This is all from Lewis Steele at the Daily Mail. He was the Wolfsburg assistant manager. He was the performance manager of youth at Man City. He was the under-23 assistant manager at Man City, the match analyst at Man City, Monaco match analyst, Monaco assistant manager, and Monaco head of methodology. That's a new one. Never heard about that in football before. What about you, Sean? Have you heard that now?
Look, I mean, you know, they're coming up with all sorts of stuff. He looks like Billy Mitchell out of EastEnders.
Yeah. I didn't think of that until you just mentioned it. Yeah. It says here that it's understood that Liverpool have welcomed former Man City man Aaron Briggs to the club as development coach to replace Vito Matos, who was described as the link man between the first team and academy by Jurgen Klopp. Briggs spent 9 years at Man City as an analyst and a coach. The former Monaco and Wolfsburg man has already started working with Liverpool, who began pre-season training on Friday. He's only 37. The 37-year-old was headhunted by the Reds recruitment team. And then there's a little bit more just to add to this on The Athletic by Shauno's best friend, James Pearce. He was an assistant coach at Wolfsburg under Niko Kovac prior to their departure from the club in March. He worked at Monaco as a tactical analyst coach, assistant coach, and then head of football methodology between 2020 and 2022. Spent 9 years at City, which you had know about, from the under 18 performance analyst to a senior first team performance analyst, having previously been on the staff at Blackburn and Preston. He's the fourth addition to Slot's staff after, oh my God, I'm going to butcher these names, Spike Hulsoff, who's the assistant coach, Ruben Peters, the lead physical performance coach, and Fabian Otti, who is now the goalkeeping coach also. I think, to be fair, this guy does come with quite an impressive resume, and I'm quite interested to see what he shows, to be fair. Like, he seems quite promising, do you know? I don't know. What do you think, Shano?
Well, look, the very best of luck with AA Ron, and hopefully he'll you didn't get that joke. I can't think of the bloody something.
AA Ron. I did get that. What is...
Yeah, it's the
it's Key and Peele.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
When he's the substitute teacher.
Yeah. AA Ron, Ricky Butcher. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean,
AA. But yeah, he does sound pretty impressive, does this guy, in all fairness. So I'm quite interested to see what he can do. But at the same time, like, Matos was never really that big, I didn't think. When he was at Liverpool, it was all kind of featured on Pep Lijnders, wasn't it? You know, from what we saw anyway, from like a fan point of view. So, and then the next one, guys, in the same article by Lewis Steele, Johnny Heitinger. Now, let's get rid of that comment. Sorry, Gavin, sorry. Johnny Heitinger, the former Everton defender, is being considered by Liverpool to join Arne Slot's backroom team as a coach. The Mail Sport has learned. The former Dutch international, who played at 5 tournaments for the Dutch team, had been working as a coach at West Ham under Moyes, but has held talks with a view to joining compatriot Slot on Merseyside. This deal is not in an advanced stage just yet, and others are being considered to complete Slot's backroom cabinet. But the interest in Heitinger might raise eyebrows due to his connection from Stanley Park. Heitinger has also gone on record to say, in the Telegraph in Holland, and he's been quoted as saying that all I can say now is that I have been approached and that my agent Rob Janssen and I are in conversation. So this is happening. Like, the conversations are ongoing with Heitinger. This cat, I think I saw a comment there. Smitey Red. Yeah, there you go, mate. I'm good, mate.
All right, Brandon.
Good, mate. Got to get you on here at some point, Brandon. Got to get you on here at some point. We're creeping up to that 10th episode, which is pretty good, I think, anyway.
There should be like a party or something, really.
Yeah. There's a little bit on here on The Athletic regarding the Heitinger stuff as well. It just says that Liverpool are still in the process of recruiting a first-team coach. Former Everton and Holland, Heitinger is one of the names. Heitinger was part of David Moyes' staff at West Ham, and apparently he's known for having really good training sessions. So that's always positive to hear, isn't it?
I'm just rather concerned the fact that, like, we're still, trying to get the backroom staff sorted, and it's July. That's the only issue I have is I mean, because all of these guys, they all sound great on paper. We don't know what they're going to be like, but I would love just to have had this done and dusted.
Yeah,
for July.
Yeah, to be fair, you would have thought they would have done. Like, a lot of people are probably going to look at it and say that, Slot didn't start till this time, and neither did Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. But if we're all going to be like honest with ourselves, they've probably all been especially Hughes and Edwards, they've probably been working behind the scenes for many, many months. So they should have been getting this sorted out prior. They'd have known who was leaving, when they were leaving. And I don't think you can use a football tournament as an excuse for not hiring coaches. I just don't think you can. No. And like you say, there's how long is there now? Is it a month this Saturday, or is it the month?
Jesus, is that?
It's not long. It's 5 or 6 weeks now till season starts. It's something like that. So I think they've got the first preseason game in about couple of weeks in it. They have to travel to America after next week, I think, to Philadelphia or something. So, we'll have to see what happens, I guess, in regards to that. But you would think over the next coming days, we kind of get a little bit of clarity in what's going on in the coaching staff area, especially when a lot of the players are going to be coming back. Like, I think Salah's back today. Endo will be coming back. Obviously, the players that are playing in the tournaments, we won't see them probably at all in the US tournament, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
So, yeah. So then the other thing that kind of broke today as well, which is Nat Phillips. Now, you sent this through to me, so I'm going to have to read it off my phone. I don't have a thing set up for this one, guys. I'm sorry. I wasn't that prepared for this. But it says here, and I think it was also reported on Sky Sports also, that Liverpool have rejected a bid of £4 million from Trabzonspor for Nat Phillips, and that the club currently value him at 8 million and are in no rush to sell. Now,
That's why my good friend James Pierce.
Hi,
James.
Yeah. What's this here? I think there'll be a couple. Slot was looking for Feyenoord. He couldn't get them 100. I'm not sure, Gav, but wasn't that Ruben Peters guy? I might be wrong. You might be correct here, but I'm sure that it was that Ruben Peters that was being mentioned that couldn't come over from Feyenoord because of that, and I think he obviously joined. Chelsea chief scouts Rio Unguamo to Lionel Messi. Oh, that's cool. Well, I've got a clip for him. Gary Richards, all right, mate? How you doing? Tally ho. And he reckons that Liverpool should sign Nico Williams and Danny Olmo. I'm not covering Nico Williams tonight, but I will say for his release clause, Liverpool can't really afford to not be in the conversation for him for the talent that he is. His release clause, Sean, is about £49 million.
Yeah, we covered it in a couple of streams anyway. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think his wages are like 300k. That's what he's after, rumored to be. So I think that's the sticky point. But yeah, back to Nat Phillips. What do you think? Do you think Liverpool are taking piss there, wanting more than 8 million for him? Like,
I don't know. With the way the market is going, Adam, I think we should really hold out. He's a bit of a kind of a cult classic, really, a cult legend at Liverpool. The calling him, did they call him Maldini or something like that? Not Maldini, Maldini. So he's good to have as backup, but I can't see him starting the game unless we're really pushed.
So just to give you a bit of background on this, he is in his final year of his contract. So if he doesn't get sold now, he leaves for nothing next year. Transfer Market is saying that he is valued at 3.5 million. And last year, it's loading again. He made 26. He made 26 appearances the whole of last year. He made 8 appearances for Celtic, and then he made 18 appearances for, is that Preston? Cardiff, and he scored 1 goal. So he's not coming off the back of a really successful season, in all fairness. And he's not really, I don't know. Do you take the 4 or 5 million for him, or do you risk losing him for nothing?
How old is he?
27.
And how old is your man Sepp Van Berg, or whatever his name is?
Ooh, good shout. Hold on a moment. I think he is about 23, maybe, I want to say. Maybe younger than that.
So maybe 3 or 4 years in the difference. One's 20 million and the other's 8.
Yeah. But again, you got to remember, like, with the contract as well, like, his contract expires.
Well, true,
year.
Yeah.
He's 22, he's Sepp Van der Berg, and his contract expires in 2026. So,
well, you would have thought, like, I suppose a player with more experience would be worth more, but then again, obviously, with 1 year left in the contract, I don't know. It's I think we should hold off with 8 million. Hold off and get as much as we can.
Yeah. What about you guys in the chat? What do you reckon? What would you take for Nat Phillips if you could have sell him, obviously, this summer? Just catch up on some of these comments. Gav, there's another guy, can't make his mind. Can't mind. Have a look for him, Gav. Let us know, mate. You might be correct about that whole coaching situation. Yilmaz has really impressed me at the Euros. Could see him being loved by the fans. Yeah, I'm not really covered that. I know you sent me it through and everything, but I just think that's because he had a good game and stuff like that. I don't know. Let's see. Adam and Sean Nunes will score 50 goals this season. Well, you never know. Hope so.
Well, he's doing well in the Copa Jesus Christ.
Copa
Help
America.
me out here. There you go. What the hell?
England's semi-final referee served a 6-month ban for match fixing. He did, yeah. The guy who's in charge of the England game tomorrow, Wednesday night, sorry. He got banned for 6 months.
Carmino, hello.
And Guy Richards says, you text 16 million for Nat Phillips. Well, I don't think we'll get that.
I'm glad you're not doing the negotiations. Gary would never sell a player ever. 16 million for Nat Phillips.
So let's catch up. So what I say? Bellingham accused him of it when he was at Dortmund and then he got banned. Bellingham got banned. Is that right? Bellingham got banned or the ref got banned?
No, the ref. Bellingham accused him, I think, is it?
10 million from a championship club. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What's this next one we're going to do now? So the next one I was going to cover, guys, is this Rio lad. Now, I'm going to... But I don't think I should say these names without even trying before sometimes, but I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to say Rio Ungmoha. Ungmoha? Umoha? I don't know. I've got a funny feeling that G is silent. So I don't know. Anyway,
for real.
Yeah, I was going to call him Rio from now on. So it says here by Fabrizio Romano that Liverpool are closing on a deal to sign Rio 2008 there is because that's the year he was born, as he's leaving the Chelsea academy. And it's this bit I find quite interesting. Liverpool are set to break their historical wage structure for the academy to sign Rio, who's highly rated by the club, and deal to be completed soon. And then we've got another journalist here underneath. Oh, I can't read his name. Is it Bensi? Oh, why do I do this to myself? Never mind.
Hold on a second till I check.
Double B.
It's a double what?
Double B.
Bensi Bossack.
Bensi Bossack. Right, cool. At least I've kind of got Shauna back. It says that Rio had already trained with Chelsea's first team at the age of 15. He averaged 12.91 dribbles per 90 with a 63.6 completion for the England under-16 team, while also averaging a 0.84 goals and assists per 90. Could be a huge coup by the club. Now, I do remember just keeping this in here. Gav, you put some out a little bit earlier, didn't you, mate? Let me see if I can find that one again. This one here. He said, you watched clips of him, definitely one for the future with a high ceiling being described very highly. And then this one as well. Chelsea's chief scout compared him to Lionel Messi, and he's very excited. So, and what's Brandon said here? There's only so long we can live off. Yeah, exactly, Brandon. Yeah, 100% on Nat Phillips, 100%. I'd take something around that for him. Yeah.
As long as he doesn't compare him to Lionel Richie, that's the main thing, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, this kid, I'm not gonna lie, first time I've ever heard about him today. Never heard of him before in all my life, but I did manage to find one of these clips so we could have a little look, and they've got the pronunciation of his name in this as well. So let's have a watch this.
Still he goes. Those efforts. Oh, what a goal! Rio Ungma with a
Ungma.
Ungma. God, you made a dog's you know what of that.
I did. I apologize. I did.
But you were right about the G. The G was silent.
Yeah. Where does Carvalho fit? Gary would sell Carvalho. So for me,
no.
I see, depending on how we play, I see Carvalho playing in the number 10 slot behind a striker. I think he would play quite well there, to be fair. I think that's where he's supposed to play. I'd have him as a potential backup to Szoboszlai. because I think I'd play Szoboszlai behind the striker if you're playing this 4-2-3-1 that Slot called out Redmen TV for. I get that, but if you play in that formation, that is where I would play him. All right, Bri, hope you're doing well. Gavin Carvalho and money for Gordon. Oh, Anthony Gordon. Oh, that, you know what? You've teed us up there proper nicely. I forgot to do this earlier on, Sean. I really did. I apologize. But anyway, that's the Rio Ungma. Got it bang on there. Player that Liverpool, who are on the potential verge of signing. My mouse is going a bit funny. So I'll get this off. Why is my mouse not working? Sorry, guys. So, Sean, I'm going to hand it over to you for a little bit here. What's your thoughts on the whole Anthony Gordon thing, firstly? Would you see him at Liverpool? Would you see him as a decent replacement for Luis Diaz?
I mean, there's constant talk about Luis Diaz going and leaving. And from what I can gather, I think Newcastle have put a dampener on him going to Liverpool. So, I mean, I wouldn't. Was there talks of him some money by and Kwanzaa?
Yeah, I think the initial deal was something around 60-70 million pounds plus Kwanzaa.
I don't know. Look, I mean, it all depends. I mean, I think Diaz is having a good tournament. Obviously, it's a bit different international. So I'm not 100% sure how he would fit in. I don't know. Anyone in the chat, what do you all think? Would you be happy to have him instead of Diaz?
What's this here? Liverpool have turned down offers from Mainz and Wolfsburg for Sepp van den Berg, with a defender set to be handed a chance to shine in pre-season. He has impressed Slot. To be fair, I don't know if you've seen a lot of it, but this back of the house training sessions, that Sepp van den Berg seems to be making an appearance a fair bit. And I don't know if it's because they've got nobody else to show because everybody else is doing other things, but I noticed that he seems to be like pretty much front and center. So,
well, you see, I would have just kept if I were him, I would have kept my mouth shut about Klopp, and I would have just said, "Well, right, I'm taking an opportunity now, new manager, clean slate, and now let's try and impress Arne Slot." That's what I think could have, Gavin says Gordon can also play on the right hand side, Salah replacement. If that's the case, then I would be, I'd probably say yes.
Yeah, I think there's been a fair few people that have mentioned that. I think I can't remember who it was. It might have been Rich T in my comments. He mentioned about that when he spent most of his time at Everton, he did play a lot on the right hand side for Everton, and then he's moved kind of to the other side for Newcastle. So yeah, possibly. Let's just go back to what Brandon said. I think all that transfer talk is mainly because of his dad, though. I don't see him leaving this window. That Luis Diaz, yeah. I could see that, to be fair, at the same time. Have you seen his dad celebrating when Colombia scored? Well, when Diaz scored for Colombia. No, I haven't got a clip of it, but if you have a look for it, he's basically running up and down the stairs in the stadium.
He's just like a Colombian Diego Maradona.
No, I was just about to say the same thing.
He's just this little tiny little yoke.
Yeah. Gary Williams and Bakayoko are miles better than Gordon. Maybe, but they're playing different leagues. Gordon has got Premier League experience, and I think in my video that I did, Gordon was the third highest winger in the Premier League by performance index. He was only behind, Saka and Cole Palmer, I think. He was ahead of Salah and Phil Foden and the likes of that. So he didn't do too bad, I guess, looking at the stats. Gav, Mane played on the right, then moved to the left when Salah signed. Yeah, 100%. Pierce also added on saying that Sepp showcased his fitness level by registering the highest average speed during the running tests over the weekend. Oh, that's interesting. Slot and his staff believe the defender's technical ability went up a level during his time in Germany. Yeah, to be fair, he's been loaned out at a fair few rubbish teams, so No offense to them, but if he's stepped up while he's been in Germany, I can't go much wrong there. Much prefer a start at centre back and a quality number 6 before looking at the attack. I love Endo, but he's not a long-term solution. Yeah, I'm going to be discussing a DM a little bit later on regarding Ugarte, and then Lee Miles.
Someone in your DMs?
Huh?
Someone in your DMs or a DM, a defensive midfielder?
Oh, yeah, defensive midfielder. Yeah. Defense. Sorry, my bad. Rather see Nico Williams over Gordon. Williams is something else. Yeah, Williams has seemed to have set the world on fire. And there was that. I did have a bit of a joke in one of my videos where I think when Spain played Italy, Nico Williams crossed the ball in, and that Calafiori, the defender at Liverpool, was supposedly looking at, scored the own goal. And I thought, that could be the first connection between them two if they both came to Liverpool, but you never know. That didn't happen. So I guess
that's a good point. It's a good point what Brandon is making, though. He much prefers to sort out the centre back and a quality number 6. I think that's really what we need to be looking at, to be honest. I think that's what had let us down at the end of the season. Miles, I absolutely adore your profile photo, by the way. That's a good one. I actually know who designed that. So, yeah.
So next one I want to get your opinion on, Shauno, is the Arne Slot presser. I'll let you have full reign. If you want to also talk about that video that I sent you earlier from Sky Sports, go ahead. Where they asked that question that we both kind of were questioning why they're talking about that still.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So first of all, the Arne Slot presser with Richard Hughes there on Friday, I was impressed with it. And I can't help but like Arne Slot and compare him to a Dutch Rafa Benitez, full of smiles. Hi, Johnny. Full of smiles. The key words he was, using kind of stood out to me. Ambition, enthusiasm. We need to develop. We need to improve. Something that he'd mentioned that I didn't really hear Klopp mention all that much was kind of improvement. Well, other teams are improving every year, so we need to do that. And to me, that that really spoke volumes. The fact that the two of them were in the press conference together kind of just shows the dynamic that we're faced with, or the duo that we're faced with. Richards obviously is going to have a huge part to play, and it's going to be extremely important for Slot and Richards to get on, and it looks like they are.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt I felt positive about it. I've watched other people, their reaction to it, and some people are underwhelmed and what have you. I don't really know what they're expecting.
Yeah, I thought that when you saw people kicking off and stuff, there's a one bit which I did question, which I'll get your opinion on in a minute. But when people were saying oh, there wasn't much going on, what did you expect? Do you expect him to come out and say, yeah, we're going to sign this player, we're going to sign that player, we're going to sell him, we're going to sell that ain't going to come out of a press conference. Do you know what I mean? To the whole public, it's just not going to happen. But yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I mean, genuinely, I think that he answered every question in the most diplomatic of ways. And I mean, exactly what do you expect him to say? Oh, yeah, we're signing Messi and Ronaldo, or we're signing Bellingham. I don't know what anyone else expected. I mean, yes, he's got big boots to fill with Klopp, but I think really now the questions of Klopp now needs to stop. Slot is here. We need to get behind Slot, and that's it. We need to stop nitpicking at what he said or what he didn't say, or how underwhelmed we are. It's a fucking press conference, and I think he answered every single question perfectly. And the one bit that I absolutely loved, was when Chris Pajek from Redmen TV, he landed him in it. Oh man, he landed a minute, and it just, do your homework. He was like, yeah, I may have a smiley face, but get your facts right before you start asking this question.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
He was no nonsense, but very pleasant. And yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I liked it as well. The one thing that I did question was when Richard Hughes was talking about signings, and they were saying that basically they need to do the work on the training ground first, and they're going to look for opportunities in the transfer market. I was just kind of like, oh, like, I don't know, like the way he worded it, maybe he didn't mean it the way it came across, but I kind of took that as in we're back to the good old days of
Well,
looking for them rough diamonds.
I think, I mean, Gavin says they watched that in the inside training, and he's very much a hands-on coach. And to me, he looked very hands-on. I mean, he just looked at like a coach, a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really, really happy. A lot of the questions from the journalists,
Sorry.
questions were below par. Yeah,
There
I
were.
agree
There
with
were.
that. I agree with that.
There were. Like, there was a lot of stuff. Like, they were still talking about Klopp. Like today, for instance, when we watched that other video earlier, and the guy, I don't know his name, but the guy who was interviewing Slot on Sky Sports basically turned around and said something like, what was it? Oh, what now you've inherited Klopp's squad or something along them lines. Like, as I said to you, like, if I would have been Slot, I'd have been like, whoa, hold on a moment. It's my squad now.
Yeah.
I'm the manager or the head coach, whatever.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that. What's he said? You're on in my van. Off I go work again. Butterbean. Fat Danny Bryant. In it. Good job. He's not on.
he's like, do you know what he sounds like? That woman in on Vine. Do you remember that app Vine?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my mum's car. That's how I read it, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm a fat Danny Dyer. Okay, that's
Okay.
nice, Martin.
Yeah.
Do
you have anything else you want to say about the slots in thing or slot? This question that the Sky Sports person asked today.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I picked up on what you said there, the fact that he was going on about Slot and you're inheriting Klopp's squad, and I just thought that was a bit disrespectful. Klopp has done what he's done over the space of 9 years. Right, that's grand, that's fine, and we'll always love Klopp for doing that. But now it's Slot, and we have to get behind this. We've got to stop making comparisons and expecting, Slot to answer the same way as Klopp is going to. Slot is a completely different guy. Vinny O'Connor, yeah, that's your man. How does he know they're ginger? And they're not. But anyway, god damn. So moving swiftly on. But yeah, no, I just thought that was a bit disrespectful. But I just think that he was very diplomatic in his answers. I think all the questions that have been posed to him, as who mentioned it, as Johnny mentioned it, they were really, really below par, and there were the same questions that has been asked of him from the opening interview that he did, and the last two press conferences, or the one he had with Vinny, and then the press conference on Friday. It's the same questions, and I think probably in 9 years' time he'll be, getting a bit pissed off with the same questions been asked of him. I don't know, but hopefully he'll have, created something in his name, and people will be talking less about Klopp's legacy and about Slot's legacy instead. So hopefully.
Yeah, well said.
But
well said.
I'm very hopeful, and I'm actually very optimistic, and I really like Slot. Didn't think I would. Didn't know anything about him. I'm not going to even pretend that I watch the Dutch league. I don't watch anything other than Liverpool, but I genuinely feel that just from the start, I've warmed to him.
Yeah.
Gav's.
Gav's just saying here that I'm fearing if we don't start the season well, Klopp's going to get mentioned more, which is always going to happen. And to be fair, I kind of hope, like where Klopp's turned around and said, "Oh yeah, I'll come and watch it as a fan." I kind of hope he doesn't show his face for a while. Like, remember when Moyes took over Fergie and Fergie was just sat there all the time behind him and the camera kept panning to him. I don't want that, Liverpool. I don't want that sort of pantomime or anything like that.
Well, it was like that with Shankly as well. Shankly could never leave Liverpool, even when he left as manager. He was always, on the grounds watching it, and he just couldn't leave it. The only time I want to see Fergie is anytime we're trashing United and just seeing that grumpy little whiskey nose face of his. That's the only time I want to see.
Yeah, same. To be fair, it was quite good when they're getting absolutely smashed and he's just sat there chewing like.
I actually I forgot to give this a shout out. SD Designs 2020 on Redbubble. There is an image of Kenny Dalglish in the stand laughing, and then Fergie, with the grumpy face, and then it's like Liverpool 5, United 0, or yeah, it's great. Brilliant. One of me mugs.
I think I've got one of your mugs. This Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher 7.
Have you got that one? Have you?
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure I have. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got that one. Yeah.
You need to promote that a little bit more.
I'll next time we're on, I'll be drinking it like.
Yeah. Do.
But yeah, I think that some of the questions that people have been asking him, I was going to ask you this actually. Do you think they're asking him these questions like easy to try and get in his good books? Like, do you reckon they're not going to try and ask him like an hard question, shall we say, just so he's like, well, like, you don't want to get pissed off? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you reckon that's a little bit involved, or?
Well, I think maybe James Pearce is trying to get on the good side of a Liverpool manager, considering that he wasn't in the good side with Klopp at the end. But sorry, that wasn't a dig at Pearce. But it is actually. I don't like Pearce, and that's been well documented. But no, I don't know. Maybe there's an element of that. But I mean, journalists are journalists. I don't really hold many of them in high regard, if I'm honest with you, because they kind of spout off the same stuff. They regurgitate it, and it's secondhand, third-hand news, and you'd be going out of your mind if you believed everything that was reported back from them. So
yeah,
hard to know.
Yeah. So I think we'll move on to the Copa America. Darwin Núñez. Now, I know you say you've not watched anything, but I guess you can always just go off the stats that I've got pulled up here. So in the last game, Uruguay drew 0-0 with Brazil, but they beat them on penalties. They finished first in their group. He's played 340 minutes in total during the whole tournament. He's got 2 goals. And his XG, which is basically his expected goals, is 2.31. So he is slightly performing under that, ever so slightly. 67% passing accuracy. He's got a 31% shooting accuracy, which I think we can all atone to that. Probably think it might be being better. And they do play Colombia in the semi-final on Thursday at 1:00 in the morning. Now, Núñez has been a hot topic, I'd say, between some fans, because he seems to have been lining up over there, doing pretty well. Obviously, different system, different players, different language as well.
Yeah, which is what Slot said in the presser as well. It's all well and good to kind of go on how they're performing in those tournaments, but it's a different team.
Yeah. So I did a video the other day where Slot has basically said that he's already spoken to Darwin Núñez and said that he wants to keep him. He's told him where he's going to play. So he did mention something else that I kind of found interesting as well. Like, it was something along the lines of what was it? I spoke to Darwin. He played different positions before, but I've already told him where I want him to play. So that to me sounds like Slot's already got an idea for him. He's not going to be swapping and changing him, getting him out of his rhythm or anything like that. He's literally just going to be playing him, down the middle, I presume, as a number 9. And if we go off what he did with Santiago Jimenez at Feyenoord, I personally can't wait to see what Slot can do with Darwin Núñez. That is the one thing that I'm probably the most excited for, is seeing how Darwin Núñez reacts to Arne Slot. Because I will say this, I think next season is make or break for Darwin Núñez. If he has another, I know if you go off the stats, he was the second top goal scorer, second top assister for Liverpool last year, but he's not hitting the heights that we expected him to. And as well as Arne Slot did say, I keep saying Arne, don't I? Arne Slot.
Yeah.
As Arne Slot said, he's doing the hard part. He's getting into the positions to give him the opportunity to have the shot. It's just that end bit of getting the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, what about you? What do you think about Darwin Núñez? I know, like, I'll bring that up again so you can read it. But what do you think of how he's getting on, shall we say?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at stats, I mean, they all sound great, but I mean, the 31% shooting accuracy is something I would be a little bit concerned about. Obviously, he's, playing with Hungary or with Hungary. What the hell, Hungary with Uruguay. So obviously, it's different teammates and whatnot. I mean, I would be interested to see what Arne Slot does, and how he improves him as a player. As much as I would also be interested in seeing how Luis Diaz performs under Arne Slot, because I think if there's going to be a change in Núñez, there's bound to be a change in Diaz as well, which is why I'd be kind of maybe inclined to hold on to him a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, man. I agree. I think we got to see how he does under Arne Slot, in all fairness. Arne Slot. So keeping with that same match, we've got Alisson. Now, I will hold my hands up, guys. I've been doing this player watch thing for about 3 weeks now. I've never once mentioned Alisson. The whole time it's been on, I completely forgot about him. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, he was in the opposite goal of this game. So Uruguay won on penalties 4-2. Brazil did come second in their group overall. He's played every minute of all the games. He's only conceded 2 goals after facing 13 shots. So that's the Alisson that we all know, we've known her about. 89% passing accuracy, which again is the Alisson we know about. 85% save rate, and they went out on penalties to Uruguay. So maybe, just having a bit of a laugh, guys.
I've
Don't
lost
kill
you
me.
there.
You still here? Oh, he's been taken, guys. He's gone. Is he there? Is he gone? All right, Copites. Hope you're doing well. John is here. Sorry, guys. Can you all still hear me? Am I still here? I don't know if it's just Shauna that's gone. I don't know. You have to let me know in the chat, guys, if you can still hear us. It looks like I'm still live anyway. Here's message, Danny. Bloody hell. Always happens, doesn't it? Tell you what I'll do. I'll kick him out. And then wait for him to come back up again. So, yeah, Alisson, guys. Just gonna have a bit of a laugh with this. Don't take it too serious, but maybe that's the reason why we have Kelleher in net for the cup games and penalties and stuff, because Alisson's not too good at doing it. Oh, cheers, Copites. Thank you for that. Shauno's gone. Shauno got hijacked by FSG. Always seems to be the case. Oh, we got his Terminator. He's turned in at Terminator now. He will be back. FSG got his Wi-Fi. Wouldn't be surprised if they did. So yeah, I think Alisson, guys, stats wise, looks like the Alisson we know about, but unfortunately, it looks like Brazil haven't done too much. I did see a stat the other day as well. Is it like that lad that Real Madrid have just signed? Is it Endrick? In that game against Uruguay, the only successful pass he made was the kickoff. In the whole 90 minutes, that was the only successful pass that he made. So yeah. Oh God, Real Madrid. We've got a bit of a cork there, aren't they, by the looks of it. I'll keep the show going, guys. Shauna will join us eventually. Next up, we've got McAllister. So Argentina beat Ecuador 5-3. They finished top of their group. He played 270 minutes. He was rested for their third league group game, whichever. He's got 2 assists, and his expected assists, guys, for the tournament is 0.45. So he's massively outperforming this. 90% passing accuracy with a 40% shooting accuracy. And they play Canada in the semi-final on Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the morning UK time. So again, I think it's pretty good to see that, we've got players that are doing well for the countries. And I do think that, having people going off, being successful for the countries, it's a good sign that they're going to come back in good health. The only thing that I'm kind of bothered about, which doesn't sit well with me, is obviously that, there he is. He's back again.
I don't know what happened to me. I really don't. Now, so I've no idea how good the key is. If anyone can hear me,
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
that's all right.
Well, I can anyway. So what was I going to say? Yeah, McAllister. It's good. It's good that they're doing well. The only bad thing about it all is obviously that they're going to be in these tournaments for a long while. It does look like the tournaments are obviously ending this week. The final of the Euros obviously on Sunday, but then you would expect, say, for instance, if England was to get all the way to the final and Holland and England won't because they're obviously playing each other, but they'll probably get 2 weeks off anyway. So we might see them for the US tour. We might not, but it's neither here nor there. Gary Richards says that Alec McAllister needs to score 15 goals. You've got very high expectations of all these players, aren't you, mate? I don't know if I know another. When was the last midfielder that scored 15 goals for Liverpool? Steven Gerrard, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Have you got anything like to say about
FSG got my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
What was I going to say to you? No, I mean, obviously, Alisson has been amazing. We all know that he's an amazing goalkeeper. So no surprises there.
Yep. McAllister again has been playing pretty well. Just to give you a quick rundown, I don't know if you saw it or not, but he's got 2 assists and his expected assists are 0.45, so he's well above there. Passing accuracy at 90%, shooting accuracy at 40%. He played 270 minutes because they rested him for the final group game. Didn't play that. So yeah, by the looks of it, guys, it could be an Argentina-Uruguay final, which would be good news for obviously them, but could be bad news for us regarding players coming back sharpish. The next player we've got to cover from the Copa is Luis Diaz. Now, Colombia beat Panama 5-0. They finished first in their group above Brazil. He's played 321 minutes. He's got 2 goals and with his XG at 1.57, so he's outperforming that. His passing accuracy is 79%. His shooting accuracy is 43%. And he will play Darwin Núñez's Uruguay in the semi-final on Thursday at 1 o'clock in the morning UK time. So I've seen it a bit. What's made you chuckle?
I sorry, I'm just thinking of Muscuzi's comment about Diaz looking like your man out of Ghost. What was your man out of Ghost? Willie Gonzalez or something, or the fella that kills Patrick Swayze.
Oh yeah.
I can't look at Diaz now. I just think of that. Anyway, sorry, go on.
What was I saying? So yeah, Diaz. I've seen people saying that there's a bit of a mixed bag going on. Sorry, with him regarding what is it? The whole thing, saying that he's not really getting that many chances for Colombia, but then he scores that goal. Obviously, there's the whole Anthony Gordon thing that was going on in the background. Him potentially eyeing a move to go to Barcelona. I don't know. Like, I know we kind of covered this a little bit earlier on, Sean. He's gone again. I know we covered this a bit
I'm
earlier.
still here. I'm still here. I'm just going to convert to my iPad. So I'm still here, but I just want to convert to my iPad because it's much better.
No problem. So what was I saying? Yeah, Diaz. Would you guys in the comments? Let's have a look. Do you guys exchange Luis Diaz for any other winger, not just Anthony Gordon? Like, you know, Nico Williams, he's been linked with Liverpool. He plays out on that side. Nico Williams plays that side. We've got a few other players that have been linked with Liverpool that can play over there. So would you guys take Nico Williams or Gordon over Luis Diaz? I think I would, because for me, with the whole Luis Diaz situation, right now, if you don't sell him, you've kind of got to offer him a new deal, I think. And he's 27 years of age. I don't know. What do you think, Shano?
I'd probably give Diaz another year.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably give Diaz another year, along with Nunes.
Let me just have a quick look. So Luis Diaz is 27 years of age. His contract expires 2027. So yeah, Liverpool will not be in any major rush to get him sold. You know, even if you sell him next year, he's still got 2 years left on his deal. So yeah.
I mean, it's all well and good kind of talking about getting rid of these players. It's another thing then talking about like bringing in players that are either better than them or match what they contribute to the club. And you know, there is a case to be made about kind of getting rid of too many players and then rebuilding the squad. I mean, we've been very lucky in terms of the midfield and the rebuild there last summer. We don't want to kind of change it too much and have, you know, a bunch of new players come in, a completely new team. We were very lucky last season that it almost worked out perfectly for us. You know, we were in for 4 trophies, you know, and then we were nipped at the post of the last maybe month and a half. But I think there definitely is a case to be made about getting rid of the likes of Diaz, possibly Nunes, then bringing in someone like Gordon. And it doesn't look like Gordon's going to be going anywhere this season anyway.
Nah, I wouldn't say that's likely. I mean, people are still saying that it could happen, which, you know, you never say never in football. But as of now, I don't think Liverpool will pay the money that Newcastle want. If the Gordon deal came down to, like, say, 50, 55 million, I can see him doing it. But I can't see him doing it at 75, 80 million. There's no way. No way, Jose. So then I think we've got, is that it? Yeah, that's last player for the Copa. So now we're on to the Euros. So first up, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, obviously, England drew 1-1 with Switzerland, beat them on penalties 5-3. We finished top of the group. Don't know how that happened. And by we, I mean just me, not Shano. Played 134 minutes, 87% passing accuracy, 7 ball recoveries, 25% shooting accuracy. And we play Holland in the semi-final on Wednesday. Now, first and foremost, I will say these Euros have been a bit of a farce regarding Trent. I don't understand why he's not playing. I don't understand why he was made out to be a scapegoat for the first couple of games, like when there was other players in the England squad that were just not performing, i.e. Harry Kane. Don't know why he's still playing. In all fairness, he doesn't give anything going forward. There were several times against Switzerland when I was watching him and he was playing right back and left back. And I was like, what? He's supposed to be a number 9. Like, why is he playing there? But yeah, I will say this though. When Trent stepped up to take that last penalty, I was just like, oh my God, mate, don't miss. Of all the stuff that's gone on about you from the press and the media and the fans, the last thing you need right now, mate, is to miss this penalty.
I'll tell you, he had the neck of a jockey's bollocks to go and take that penalty. And
Yeah.
I fair play to him. The kid, I mean, he's been getting dogs abuse. And I mean, if people really want to know why England do so poorly in these tournaments, all you have to do is look at the press and look at some of the fans and what they put these players through. I mean, Jesus Christ, the last tournament, I mean, the racist abuse that they threw at a few of them there that missed the penalties there was horrible.
Yeah, Saka and that. Yeah, like he would brave to step up again. Like,
it's like who in the Lord Jesus would want to put on an England? Well, I for one wouldn't put on an English shirt. I'm Irish, but who in their right mind would want to subject themselves to that?
Yeah,
you know.
I guess lastly, one last question before I move on from Trent. Gonna stick your neck out. Where do you reckon Trent plays for Arne slot? Do you reckon he plays midfield or do you reckon he plays right back?
You got a bit Irish on me there. Arne slot. Oh well, I think he's going to play it right back, but then obviously drift into midfield during the game. I think.
So you reckon he'll kind of do a lot of the same as what he did last year?
Yeah. I don't think that. Well, unless something drastically changes, but I mean, I'm very confident. I hope that Connor Bradley, continues to get chances there because he's very, very good. When we're out, Alexander Arnold, we didn't really even miss Alexander Arnold. And that says an awful lot about Connor Bradley. So,
Yeah. We've got a comment here from JT. Tough one on Diaz. His end product, especially knowing when to play the ball, wasn't the best. Great to watch, but end product needs to be higher for me. And for me too. Like, that's the main thing for me why I would potentially move on Luis Diaz is he's all well and good with his energy and winning the ball back, but then what does he do with it when he's got it? He does next to nothing. Gary Richards, Gareth has wasted a lot of his players.
Back.
Sorry?
JT bringing sexy back straight after his DUI.
Justin Timberlake. And then Gary put, Gareth has wasted a lot of these players. He's wasted a lot of them.
I don't think he knows what squad to put out there. I really don't think so.
Nah, neither do I. Like, the one thing for me that's really been annoying me is why Joe Gomez has not been played at left back when you're playing Kieran Trippier. You're playing Kieran Trippier, a right-footed right back, at left back, when you've got Joe Gomez, who's been playing all over for Liverpool this season. Why not give him a shot? I don't understand that at all. I really don't. Anyway, I'm going to get mad at that. So next up is Cody Gakpo. Now, what I will say about Gakpo is, out of all the players that are playing in all these tournaments, I will say that Cody Gakpo is probably the best performing player that Liverpool have got out there. So Holland beat Turkey to get into the semis to play England. They did come third in their group. He's played 435 minutes, 76% passing accuracy. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist, 75% shooting accuracy. That's pretty good. And as I say, they play England on Wednesday. Now, for me, again, he's been playing a lot out on that left wing. And as it stands for me, I think I know this is international, but for me, he's my starting left winger, cutting in and shooting. If he can bring that form that he's been showing in the Euros, like he did in the World Cup, I think, before we ended up signing him as well. I think he did really well in that as well. Yeah, he's been Liverpool's star, I'd say, on the international scene this summer, 100%. Closely followed by Nunes, I'd probably say. But yeah, he's been really, really good. He's got go on, Shadow.
I mean, like that Turkey game was not an easy game. But I mean, I'll tell you one thing for nothing. Cody Gakpo has really, really put it to Arne slot that he's there. He's there for the picking.
Yeah, Scotland get battered everywhere we go. Yeah, you do. Brandon, wherever Trent plays, it has to be a position where he has the game in front of him. That's when he's at his best. Yeah, I agree with that. I do think he might have potentially lost a bit of that with him playing into midfield. Like he hasn't got as much time on the ball because he's surrounded by other players. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there in suggesting that, but yeah, I kind of believe that. Gerson, good evening, guys. Who could be that wide player we're going to sign? I think something is going on behind the scenes. If I had to put my neck out right now on a wide player that Liverpool will end up signing, I'll give you 3 names. I reckon it's going to be either one of Bakayoko, Somerville at Leeds, or Anthony Gordon. They're the 3 that I reckon Liverpool would most likely go and sign. Gary Richards, the left might be Cody's. I think it is. I think we're both in agreement with that. Brandon, this is what Gakpo can do when he's given a run of games on left. I'd start him ahead of Diaz currently. Yep, 100%. Yeah. We signed the youngster from Chelsea. Opinions. Well, we didn't really have any opinions on him, but because I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I've ever heard of him. But I do think that if you go by what we've seen, we showed that little video, like, he seems to have a bit of talent. I will just say this: the fact that Liverpool are breaking under FSG, no less, their salary management, shall we say, for youngsters to get him to come to Liverpool, I think that shouts a lot. I think that says a lot about him. Gakpo, Nunes, Salah would be my front 3 next season. I can see that. What do you think?
Well, JT is after putting in a good point here. Do you think, guys, we could see Gakpo left, Salah middle, and Diaz right?
Yeah, some people have been thinking like with Salah, does he become the number 9 now, with him potentially losing a bit of pace? Could do, couldn't he? Could do. I could also see Salah playing that 10 role behind a striker as well, to be fair. I could see him playing there because he has been passing it about a bit, hasn't he? He got a fair few assists last year. He pulled off some really good passes, and he can still dribble, and he can still make that space for himself to have that shot. So maybe he plays behind Nunes, and then, if with Nunes being tall and that, he could win the headers and knock it down for Salah to run onto. I don't know. It's just
I think that could be an idea because, I mean, obviously, with his age, he may have lost a bit of pace. So possibly on the wing, it's not probably suited for him at that age. So maybe if he plays, in the pocket or as a number 10 or plays, center forward, who knows?
Nunes at top, Jota. Oh, so you were on the same way then for what I was just saying. Yeah, sorry about that, JT. For me, I've got a question for you, Shano, as well. What are you doing with Jota this summer? For me, just putting out there now, if we could get north of 50 mil, I'd be selling him.
I love Jota. I absolutely adore Jota. The problem is he is injured quite a lot. And I don't think, unless something changes, which I seriously doubt, I just don't think he has a full season in him.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think he's probably the best finisher in the team, but he's just not fit enough. And yeah, I don't think we can have him just hanging about and stuff like that. And I don't think he'd be happy to be sat on the bench either.
No.
Because for me, you don't play someone who's injury prone like him week in, week out to get some confidence and to get a flow of games, because he might go missing then for like 5-6 games or whatever. So you play Nunes, and then is Jota going to be happy to be sat on the bench? I can't see that happening. Gakpo, Nunes, Salah, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister midfield. Yeah, that sounds like a decent. I reckon Gravenberch is going to get a fair bit of game time this year. I really do. Just the Dutch connection, I guess. So I think before we move on to the transfer links and everything that I want to talk about, I don't think we could go any further without mentioning this guy, Thiago Alcantara. So
yeah,
I'll just read this out. So yesterday I did a video on this. It was made, Fabrizio Mana was running it as an exclusive that Thiago was announcing his retirement, and we've had that announcement today. Thiago goes on to say here that I will always be willing to give back. what I have been given, and I am grateful for the time I have enjoyed. Thank you, football, and to all who accompanied me and made me a better person along the way. See you soon, Tiago. For me, for me, Tiago, if you're just going based off Liverpool, he's been a bit of a flop at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Massive flop for Liverpool. If you're going off based on his career, like I think I mentioned in my video yesterday, he's probably one of the best midfielders I've ever seen play. Like, we just got him at the wrong time. We got him when he was too old, too broken. If we'd have got Thiago back when he first joined Bayern Munich, we'd have got a hell of a player. A hell of a player. And there was the stuff going around apparently that Liverpool had offered him like a coaching role. Doesn't like that. That's going to be taken up. I can see him popping up at Barcelona, probably. Barcelona B, like they're under, like Pep Guardiola did. But yeah, thoughts on Thiago quickly, Sean, if you've got any.
It's very sad. I mean, obviously his injury problems were a lot worse than we all thought. It also kind of it makes you think about the policy that we've had, Moneyball policy, where we kind of look at players that possibly other clubs wouldn't because little nicks here and there, and look at stats more so than anything. And his stats for other clubs, amazing, absolutely. When he's come on and played for Liverpool, some amazing passing, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. And he was broken, and it's very sad to see a player like that, because he was a nice lad, he was well liked and whatnot. So it's an awful pity, probably. I don't know what else to say, and it's sad, because you don't want to ever see a player that decides to play for Liverpool to fail and retire. What age is he?
I think he's my age, like 32, 33. Yeah.
It's I'll have to check that myself now.
He's 33.
33. That's way too young.
His injuries must be, like you just said, a massive, massive factor. Like that injury that he's taken must have taken it out of him. It must have done.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation for him, and for 33-year-old to retire.
Good on him as well, though, because to be fair, I think someone mentioned it yesterday in one of the comments on my video. I can't remember who it was. So if you're watching, I apologize. Shout out to him for not taking the money and going to Saudi. Like, he knows that he could have easily gone and played again in Saudi for another season and got another 20-odd million or whatever. But his body must literally just be telling him, like, nah, I can't do it anymore.
I was just going to say that, Brandon. I was just going to say that his performance against United at Anfield and Man City at Wembley in the semi-finals were some of the best midfield performances I've ever seen. His goal against Porto was probably the most satisfying. Yeah,
he was a tidy midfielder. I could say, like, this is going back to probably 12 years now when I was playing FIFA and stuff. When he was just breaking through at Barcelona, I used to always loan him to come to Liverpool. Like, he was someone I watched all the time when I was younger growing up, because I was like, same age as me, this lad. Look at him, he's breaking through at Barcelona. He's a midfielder just like I was. Yeah,
it's a fucking sad state of affairs when you're the same age as a player and I'm the same age as Barnes. Oh fuck! What have I done with my life?
Exactly. Yeah. Sat here talking about him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, guys, what we'll do now is we will touch on a topic that Shauna wants to talk about, and I think it is time we bring back the infamous.
About to catch another fight. The apple bottom make him wanna bite. I just wanna have a good night.
So, do you want me to play the video first, or do you want to talk about it first?
Play the video first, definitely.
Right, guys. So there's a video that's going to be played now that Shauna would like to talk about. It's on for about a minute, so I'm going to play the whole thing, and then Shauna's going to have his piece on it. Right. So here we go.
It's great that there are people that come over and pour money into Liverpool's economy because they want to come and see the football club, and they stay in the hotels and they eat and drink in the city and all of that. I totally get it. But equally, you've got the fans who will go no matter what, through the wind and the rain, who live round here, who've always gone, and it's part of our lives. And more often than not, it's that core support, that traditional support, whatever you want to call it. They're more likely to be the people, in my experience, who make the songs, who start the songs, who make the banners, who all of that cultural stuff that the club whips up and sells abroad as you can come and be a part of it. So one day, basically, you're killing the thing you're selling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because one day when everyone's priced out and it's a race to the richest, well, what does it end up being?
There we go. It's all yours, Sean. I'll take it away.
That's not a walking advertisement for that podcast, because I'm furious. I'm absolutely furious with that comment. Gareth Roberts was part of Anfield Rap, and he's now part of the Late Challenge podcast, and he's speaking about the club selling to fans abroad and fans being priced out of football. So he's basically blaming fan out-of-towners for the way the tickets are going, which is complete and utter horseshit. This to me is the typical sort of narrative that you get from, and I'm sorry to say, from Anfield Rap, from Red Men TV, and they all seem to be just interested in creating divides within the fan base, which to me is disgusting. It's non-productive. The attitude of, you're not from around here, sense of entitlement, the BS about locals and out-of-towners and day trippers. Unfortunately, it's not just, these channels that are doing it. It's the supporters union that also uses the great name of Bill Shankly that uses the same narrative. The Spirit of Shankly, while they do amazing work with Spine Cop 1906 with local charities and food banks, they fail miserably on representing the fans of this great club. Does Mr. Roberts want, Liverpool FC to be exclusive, for the locals only? Does he, perhaps he would want just the locals to play for Liverpool only? I think everybody would, look at this as backward thinking, and it would certainly stunt the growth of Liverpool Football Club as a whole, and also the city of Liverpool. It's not going to benefit Liverpool Football Club or the city of Liverpool by, having a corner shop mentality and being so, that's xenophobic. Without a doubt, that's xenophobic. That, to me, absolutely. But Anfield Rap, Redmen TV are perfectly happy to do tours, in America, perfectly happy to do tours in Ireland, where they capitalize on the global fan base, for their own financial gain. But they won't mention, the season ticket holders that sell their tickets to companies like, for example, Ticket.com for day trips and charge astronomical amount of money for these day trips. These are season ticket holders that are selling to these companies that are then reselling it and overcharging their fellow supporters. So that is very much part of the problem, and obviously this ballad thing that FSG have set up with these tickets. I don't see Spirit of Shankly mentioning this. They don't. The issue, in my opinion, is not the fans. It's these content creators who get perks from the club, who put out a false narrative that is the fans worldwide that drive the cost of these tickets. Unfortunately, guys, it is the American owners and how they go about the tickets and how they see how they make their money, who the likes of Anfield Rap, the likes of Redmen TV defend. They defend them to the death. But these are this is what has changed the ticket prices. These are the people that have changed, the methods of buying these tickets. If you clamped down on these companies that are selling these tickets, like for example, a hospitality ticket. I went through a company, and I thought I had paid for ferry over and coach over. I paid less than 400 quid. They wanted me to pay an extra €1,000 for a coach and a ferry over to Liverpool and back the same day.
Okay.
So you tell me that is the fans worldwide. I've no control over where I was born, but it take a bigger and better man than Gareth Roberts to tell me that I'm not passionate about Liverpool Football Club. I make banners, Gareth. I make banners. SD Designs 2020. If you want to buy one, go ahead. I know you bought one of me stickers there years and years back, but I didn't agree. I was at the Atalanta game. I wasn't the one that decided not to have banners and flags around the Cop. That was Spirit of Shankly and Spine Cop 1906.
Just like before you go any further as well, just like to add to that as well, that turned out to be Jurgen Klopp's last Anfield European night.
Yeah, absolutely. And guess who had the banner? Me. I had a banner, and I was in hospitality seat. And another thing, because I know Paul Mason had said this, because Paul Mason he knew me from a YouTube and a podcast that I did many, many moons ago. And the day that I was going off to the Liverpool Legends match with yourself, Brian, and Martin, where was he? He was over in Ireland. He was in the Ambassador, making money off his gig over in Ireland. So there was no slating the Irish Liverpool fans, because he was making a few quid off that. I know a guy that's very well respected and I won't mention his name out of respect to him, because I didn't say that I didn't mention this to him, but he's very well respected in Liverpool, very well respected by former Liverpool players and whatnot. He's big into Liverpool Football Club, a big Liverpool fan. And he was in the Sandon, and he was wearing he's part of a Liverpool supporters group in Ireland. I won't mention who. And he had that particular top on. Okay. So like it was an outer towners, as they would class it. And the look of disdain that he was given by one of the content creators that I've mentioned, that make a good amount of money doing tours in the likes of, Canada, America, and Ireland. I think Gareth Roberts needs to realize how damaging those comments are. It's absolutely disgusting. And I'll give you another. Sorry, I'm getting really heated now. I'll give you another example. During the Super League, or the when they were trying to form the Super League, there was a not a good friend of mine, a friend of a friend, who was a member of Spirit of Shankly, and he messaged them. He messaged the Spirit of Shankly, and he says, I'm worried about this ownership. And guess what he was told? He was told, go support your local team.
So
go support your local team.
That's not right. Like, I mean, I've got not much else to add to that. You've said everything that needed to be said. The only thing I will say is that I believe that, like, yes, the local Liverpool fans are the, shall we say, the heartbeat, the soul, whatever of the club, but the body and everything that's created around that helps build that up is your people from the out of town, is your people from abroad. Like at the end of the day, so if, like you say, for instance, you just paid all that money to come over from Ireland. Imagine someone that's coming all the way from Singapore, China, whatever. The people that have to get up in different countries, different time zones at like 3 o'clock in the morning to watch Liverpool play football. Like, do they mean nothing? Does their passion nothing to, like, does that not mean anything? Like, yeah, I would understand, like, if I can understand it a little, not that everything, Sean, before you start, I can understand some of it, where if you have Liverpool fans from Liverpool that find it hard to get into the stadium to watch the team when they used to be able to watch it because of, like you say, out of towners buying the tickets. But if it wasn't for these out of towners and these overseas supporters, Liverpool would not be as big as it is now. The
It wouldn't, and I mean
the local supporters made it into what it became, but then the not Liverpudlian Scouser fans made it bigger. Like, they also, like, the players that play for Liverpool and everything like that, like, all the money that all these people are putting into the club pay for Liverpool to be able to get these things. Like, I don't know, like the merchandise that all these people buy, it pays for Darwin Núñez, Mo Salah to be able to play for fucking Liverpool. If every club in the world only had their local supporters supporting the clubs, the Premier League would not be what it is now. We would be something like the Belgian League, or, you know, we'd be the Premier League would not be as big as it is now without the support it gets globally. It would not be. Simple. End of story. That's it.
And the thing is that, you know, Robbo, or he's called Robbo, Robert, Garrett Roberts, or Robbo Hutton, he goes under X. Like, so what exactly is he saying? He's saying that the reason why the tickets are so difficult to get, and the reason why the tickets are so expensive, is down to international fans. That's what he's saying.
Well, that's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
You know, I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, if you didn't have these people, if you didn't have people traveling in and out of Liverpool, I mean, I remember going to Liverpool for the first time years and years and years and years ago, and it wasn't the city it is now. Now, I'm not saying that's all down to, you know, the likes of me and other people flying over there. But if you go to Liverpool, as you have done, Adam, you will see, like, there's so many Irish people there. There's so many Chinese people there. There's so many Norwegian people there. That, I mean, if you do your history, all right, Craig, if you do your history and where the Scouse accent comes from, or Scouse, where that comes from, it's a mixture of Norwegian and Irish and Scottish. So, you know, for Garrett or Robbo to just completely piss on that and just say, well, you know, look, I mean, the whole ticket thing is pricing everybody out of it. A day trip, like, I remember bringing my father over for a night. We stayed in a hotel, the John Lennon hotel, I think it was. And it was €395 each. You would be very lucky to get a day trip for that price. And it's all well and good for Robbo, Paul Mason, Chris Pajek, or any of them to go on about, oh, well, you know, regular match goers. Well, you get your perks from the club, and you may say you don't. You do. You get your perks. So it's very easy for you to say, but you can't then all of a sudden then speak for every other fan and say, well, it's down to the out-of-towners. Because believe me, there are more out-of-towner Liverpool fans than there are Liverpool fans in Anfield or in Liverpool itself. So, I mean, let's not bite off the hand that feeds us, and let's not be, you know, non-productive and start attacking each other. You know, it's. I did say that, Craig, Scott's as well. It's non-productive, and it's happening far too often. We're getting this narrative constantly, and Spirit of Shankly need to be held accountable for it. Personally, I think Spirit of Shankly need to be disbanded. To be honest with you, I think there needs to be a new supporters union completely, because I don't think that they can really come back after the party that they had, the end of year party that they had, where they were singing Munich songs. I'm sorry, but you just can't be a supporters union after doing that, and then all of a sudden speak out about tragedy chants. It just does not work that way.
No,
they have to be held accountable for that. The likes of Anfield Rap, the likes of whether anyone from the Anfield Rap like it or not, there are Liverpool fans, and I've seen it. I've seen it in Ireland. I've been to Liverpool Legend gigs in Ireland, and I'll tell you, you would not face one of them and say that they're not passionate about this club. Not one of them.
Yep, I can agree. I've seen it for myself. You could see that when we went to that Legends game, like, it was full of loads of people, and there was people sat next to us that were Scousers, and they were like saying, like, you know, it's been a while since I've been able to get in, but they weren't blaming anybody. I think if I remember rightly, they were saying it's just too expensive.
Yeah,
which it is. Like, I think there was someone. What was it? The Uruguay manager, Bielsa. He's got a speech that came out yesterday, and he was saying basically along the lines of that football is it's becoming unattractive to the lower class because it's becoming too expensive to get involved in it. And that's if you go. That's like match days to go to the game. That's if you're watching it at home on your TV. Stuff like that. Like, everything's getting so much more expensive to be able to even watch the game of football now that people are just kind of like losing their interest and stuff. Let's have a look.
Thanks very much.
All fans should be members around the world. Yep. One show now. As London, it's now impossible to get tickets. Yeah, I find it impossible as well, mate. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, which it is. Yeah.
I mean, I entered into that ballad, and it's like pissing up against the wind and expecting a bit of a splashback. That's how you know, difficult it bloody is to get tickets. It's and then if you don't get tickets that way, then if you join a supporters group, let's say in Ireland, for example, they have to be recognised by the group. Or sorry, by the club. So not only are you paying, let's say, for example, I'm paying a premium membership, right? Because I love Liverpool's. Whether I get anything out of it, it doesn't really, I mean, sure, I'd love to be over as many times as I'd like, but it's not possible. So let's just say I'm paying that. So then I'm also paying then for a supporters group then in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm finding out is they are allocated less and less tickets as the years go on. And now what FSG are doing is, and I'm not, you know, doing this just to get a dig in at John W. Henry or Linda, although I love Linda. But what I'm saying is they are trying to get people on the ballot. And they're trying to use that system. Now, whose fault is that? It's not my fault. It's not Craig in Scotland or in Canada. It's not, you know, you, or it's not, you know, someone over in China or so. I mean, I saw Brandon, Mighty Reds _97 getting stick and been asked, or, you know, well, how many games have you been to? He lives in fucking South Africa. If it's hard enough for me to get over on a 45-minute plane, how hard is it going to be for the likes of Brandon?
Yeah,
so,
that's why I didn't mind. That's why I didn't mind when I was talking about people getting up early in the morning to watch games and stuff, like someone like that. Which is a miss of times we all done together at a local pub to watch Liverpool fans. Even exactly there. Yeah, well, Linda. Don't see pie biting and pull my time out. It's just things are rough. I'm making 3 times more than I did 2 years ago, but I can't blame.
Well, I mean, that each to their own on that one. Blue cheese, no fleas.
I can see his point, though. I can see his point.
Too.
Like, how much is a football kit nowadays? 80 quid, 90 quid? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They don't want fans anymore. These owners want customers. Hold on, mate. We've got someone who wants to join us.
Oh, Jesus.
Army Jesus, how we doing?
That band is back. What?
Right,
The band
I've
are
been
back.
listening to you in the background while I've been driving, so I've not been able to comment. Right, there's a few subjects that you touched on when you were playing your video. Right, I kind of get what you mean, but I get his opinion as well. But at the same time, all this out of town and stuff and the money situation and everything came into it. I used to have a season ticket for Anfield, and I seen so many people selling their tickets, right? And then you got all the social media started coming, and I got to the stage when I was going, I didn't know who I was going to be sat next to anymore. I used to have a great bond. Like, we had that season ticket in the family from my granddad. It popped down to my uncle, then it went to my dad, then it came to me. And we used to get, you'd know it could be, I like Billy, you know, how you been this week? How was the family? And then you're like, who are you? And you start cheering, and you're like, do you have to shout? Do you have to? It was like, it become annoying. And in the end, after a couple of seasons, I said to my brother, I said, do you want this season ticket? He was like, I don't want it. And we just give it back. It was the word out of towner to me is incorrect. I feel
I think any divide within the fan base, where I'm an out of towner or whether I'm a local or whether I'm it makes no difference. Makes zero difference.
It's like Adam said. Sorry, Sean. It's like, because obviously I've been driving, I've been wanting to answer the question, because like Adam said, is it not fair to the people who get up at 3 o'clock in Singapore? Does their merit not warrant, you know, their support not warrant like their passion for Liverpool? Does Sydney or does America? The only way that your support now, I find, for this club I love dearly, but fell out of love with, if you can understand what I'm saying, is the fact that your opinion does not matter unless you're on that payroll. And it pisses me off big time.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at, and I'm not picking on Anfield Rap, but I am in a way, because if you look at their main contributors, you have James Pearce.
Yeah.
Neil Atkinson was one of the founder members of Spirit of Shankly. So I mean, unfortunately, there is a clique, but I don't agree of the narrative. Well, you know, the tickets are so expensive and the tickets are hard to get, and that's purely down to the fact that it's
okay.
It's
your point.
Disagree.
What you're saying there. You had the point of saying, and you know, everyone has their own opinion. You've had your, you know, I met you when you came over to your dad's. You stayed in a hotel. You know, you came over for the Atlanta game. You paid all this money. You got ripped off big time. Blah blah blah. That's no issue, right? But soft asses from Red Men TV, Paul Mitchin, you know, Chris, you know, After Dark Group, all them. They're not spending money. They're getting their tickets for free, or very reduced costs, because they're trying to represent Liverpool. Yet I feel they're putting Liverpool FC in a bad light, in a bad way.
But that's my point. They are putting it in a bad way. If
Liverpool went over to Dublin, sorry, Sean, if Liverpool went to Dublin or went to Australia or went to Singapore, anywhere, wherever they go, are all Liverpool fans from Liverpool who go over to travel, are they all called out of towners? Is Paul, Redmen Team, are they out of towners? Because I tell you what, they wouldn't class themselves out of town. Oh, we're Liverpool, we do all this. No, they're fucking out of towners as well.
They certainly wouldn't treat the Irish fans the way that they have treated them.
He pissed me off. Like that time I was at his house, mate, I would fucking give him one of them.
Well, I know, I didn't expect that you were going to say that.
No, mate, but yeah.
But like, I mean, that's where I found out. He basically called me, "Oh, these out of towners getting tickets to our games." I went to a Liverpool Legends match, and he was over in Ireland trying to flog one of his little tours in the Ambassador in Dublin. So
I'm sorry, but you can't have your cake and eat it and then give out about the cake.
No.
And that's exactly what it's down to.
Does it matter whether you live in London, anywhere in the world? You put that jersey on, you are a passionate fan. Your love for that club is the same person who lives next door on the old Kenilworth Road, who's a Liverpool fan. It doesn't make no difference whether you're from over there or over there. You just put that top on with our family, but not no more. Social media has created a massive divide of who's best, who's not. And it pisses me off, and that's why I went, fuck you, can't be asked.
But that's what it's down. That's why social media, well, it's anti-social media, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, look, I mean, we're on social media. I get it, the irony of that. But the point is that we, as a fan base, need to wake up. There's been, splits in the fan base over difference of opinion and whatnot, like about the owners and, about players and blah, 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 etc., etc. But at the end of the day, we all support Liverpool Football Club, whether you agree with someone's opinion or not, whether I'm Irish and you're from India or where you're from China. We're all fans at the end of the day. I don't look at, and I don't mean to be picking on Brandon, but Brandon, as I said, lives in South Africa. I don't look at Brandon any less of a Liverpool fan than me.
Right.
And I don't look at him any less of a fan as you, Martin, who's from Liverpool, or Adam.
You look at it this way, right? All these out of town is what people are saying, we had, maybe it was a bit of a flop on its face when it happened. I was the only fucker. Sorry, Adam, for swearing, mate. But I was the only person who was brave enough to fuck off down to Melwood and stand there like a bellend on my own. And then get the police turn up on my house on my wedding day, all because I was showing my passion. It was just, I was just like, oh, fuck it, mate. I couldn't be asked. And until everyone in that club, and I don't mean the, owners, forget them, that it is what it is, but I mean all them stupid social web. But
I mean, going back to that, again, Anfield Rap, Redmen TV, all are very supportive of the owners. Where are they from exactly? Remind me where they're from. Remind me where Jurgen Klopp is from. Remind me where Bill Shankly is from and Kenny Dalglish is from. Remind me where all these people are from, and tell me that they can't be Liverpool supporters or they can't play for Liverpool because they're from that. Like,
if they're from Formby, they must be in towners, but they're not. Formby's not in Liverpool.
Well,
it might come under the L postcode, but it's not in Liverpool, and I won't say names because I'm not like that.
But again, people from the L postcode have sold, including yourself, have sold your season ticket, and if you were to sell it to a company, which a lot of them are doing, again, Ticket Gum. If you go and you get a ticket off Ticket Gum, they are selling these tickets, and you're paying £600 or £700 for a day.
My first game was when Liverpool and Everton were in the Wembley, right? And I went with my arm man, and I was like, ugh, and I had to pick the choice up of which one I went to, right? Obviously, without going back over stories, I picked red. And then my first game from that was when Michael Owen came through the youth academy, right? And he scored against Man United, in the reserves. And I was like, oh, I love this. But over time, you'd seen the great Liverpool become into Barbie dolls, become into, oh, I broke a nail and I need to run round them. I've been fouled in my area, but I'll roll down to their area and then get up when the referee blows his whistle.
But that's a football problem, though. I think
that's a football problem.
That's happening all over.
I mean, what we're seeing here is that, while every other club moved with the times, we didn't until Gillette and Hicks left. And fair play to Fenway Sports Group. Yes, they capitalized on sponsorship deals and whatnot. Yes, they extended the main stand and the Annie Road. I wish they had maybe done something, maybe looked at the Copa and maybe Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. Maybe that might be in the distant future. I don't know, but we're still playing catch up. If we were to adapt the mentality of Robo from
boy, Sean, sorry, mate. I've got to go. I'm going to get nipped here by the police. I'm on the pavement, mate. See you in a bit.
Bye.
What I was just saying,
Go on, finish what you're saying, mate, yeah.
If we were to adapt the attitude and mentality of Robbo, we wouldn't we wouldn't be as big as we are now. We would be still way behind. Yeah. And you know, the money that's been brought into the city is irrelevant. It's not irrelevant for the business owners. But the issue with the tickets has nothing to do with fans worldwide. Nothing. Yeah. It's to do with how the owners see this, how the owners are selling corporate deals, you know, that kind of thing, corporate seats. That has nothing to do with someone like myself or someone like yourself that wants to actually go to a game and wants to go as often as they can, but just cannot afford 300, 400, 500 quid for a day fucking trip.
No, I agree, mate. There's a lot of good points there. I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with anything that guy's mentioned, and there's a lot of points that you just mentioned, and I can also see it from Martin's point of view also. What's this say here? Don't you guys feel the chickens are coming home back to roost with what's going on at Manchester? Yeah, I do. But we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if anything will happen with the whole the City thing. Redman, Liverpool without out of towners is without.
I know what he's saying there. He's basically saying that Everton are a small club.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, Everton have international fans as well. Not many, but they do. So I wouldn't say all that much about Everton because, you know, but I get what you're saying, and I've heard that been said before, and you know, in a way you're right, but again, you know, Robbo, Paul Mason, and all of them that are slating all of these people. Number one, slating people online, and yet they're making their money online, and number two, slating you know, international fans, and yet these are people that have subscribed to your channel. So like it's I don't agree with it. I think it's just non-productive, and I think really people should just I think that narrative should be squashed completely. And I'd rather just Robert just coming out and saying Liverpool is for Liverpool. That's it. I'd rather him just be honest and say that, because that's really what he means.
That's what he's saying, but he's not saying. If you get what I mean, he's saying it, but he's not saying it.
Yeah.
Craig, it's funny. City wins all them and hardly anything. Yeah, have you seen his appalling?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I just want to, if you're happy with Sean, I'm just going to move off into our last segment, which is the transfer links. Now,
sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's something that needs speaking about, and if someone needs to be given a platform to speak about, I think it's worth talking about, especially with the divide in the fan base. We don't need that. Everyone's a Liverpool fan, no matter where you are in the world. So just before I go into the ones I've already got ready, there has been some updates surrounding that Chelsea kid, and whose name I'm not going to pronounce again. It's Rio. We're going to just call him Rio from now on. It says here that if a deal is struck, Rio will join on a scholar's contract, and he is said to be motivated by the pathway and opportunities on offer at Liverpool. And apparently Chelsea are furious to be losing him. And then Fabrizio Romano has retweeted what he put out earlier with the eyes emoji. So I would say that it's pretty much close to happening. And then just one as well, because I've not got anything about this, but there is reports coming out of Spain right now that Barcelona are advancing in talks regarding Nico Williams. So maybe we will be left with Luis Diaz. Maybe we're going to be kept with him. So moving on to the players that I have got prepared for us to talk about. How am I going to do this? I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll do this one first. João Gomez. Now, the next two I'm going to talk about are linked to something that I have covered on this channel a couple of days ago. But here we are. João Gomez. Now, before he moved to Wolves, he was linked heavily with Liverpool coming out of Brazil. So he moved to Wolves. He's 23 years of age. He plays centre mid and defensive mid, valued at around 35 to 40 million pounds. There's nobody else being mentioned with him other than Liverpool. He made 49 appearances in total last year, 3 goals, 1 assist, 0 injuries, 11 yellow cards, 1 red. His contract doesn't expire till 2028, and he's got another year option on that, which would then take it to 2029. And then at the bottom there, I know it might be hard for you guys to read, but basically it says that in the duel percentage, he's in the top 61.3%. Defensive actions are pretty good at 95.3, which means everything he basically does is like defensive practically. His progressive carries, so when he runs with the ball, is quite low at 39.5. His forward passes, again, is under 50% at 41.2. His forward passes at 17.2. So for me, this sounds like a player that could potentially sound like Jordan Henderson, passing it sideways. His key passes are 20.7. Progressive passes 22.1, and he played just short of 3,000 minutes. So again, this lad is very much a defensive midfielder, someone that just wins tackles and passes the ball after he gets it and doesn't do much else other than that. He's been linked very lightly with us. The connection here for me is I don't think Liverpool are going for him. I think they're going to go for someone at the same club. And I think that people are basically using this as potential smokescreen because they know Liverpool were interested in him prior. One other interesting connection I thought I would also mention is that his agent is the same agent as Andre, the Brazilian defensive midfielder that we were linked with heavily last year, who wanted to stay at the Copa Libertadores, and he didn't end up moving. So they've got the same agent, but I don't know. He doesn't impress me, this guy. What about you, Shauno? Doesn't impress me.
In the words of Shania Twain, that don't impress me much. No, I mean, what you call blue cheese for fleas. Yeah, I'd be more inclined to go for him, to be honest with you, rather than this fella.
Yeah, same. Craig, we did touch on this prior at the beginning of the stream where I wanted Shauno's opinion on it. For me, I think the Gordon thing only happens if, one, we sell one of our wingers, be it Jota, Diaz, or whoever, and the price has to come down to about 50 to 55 million pounds. That's the only way I would see that happening. We have so many rumors. I've tried to wait from official. Yeah, it's the best thing to do, to be fair. But I'm going to keep talking about him. Give us something to talk about. So the player I was talking about, where I think there could be a link with João Gomez, is Ryan Altnore. Now, again, he is at Wolves, 23 years of age. He is a left back, valued at 35 to 40 million pounds. There's not many other, well, I didn't see, there was no other clubs linked to him other than Liverpool. 33 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists in all competitions. He never got injured last year. 8 yellow cards. And funnily enough, he joined the same time as João Gomez, but his contract doesn't last as long. It expires in 2026, but it's got a year option until we'll take it to 2027. Again, down the bottom here, guys, crossing, not the best, 13.5 or 13.8, I think that is. Expected assists at 20.4. Progressive passes, again, very low at 6.4. Defensive actions, 49.9. Defensive duels that he wins, 62.5. Aerial duels, he's not very good in the air whatsoever. Progressive carries, though, he does run pretty well with the ball at 85.7. So he sounds to me very much like a player like Luis Diaz, who can run with the ball but doesn't do very much with it. And he played just over 2,500 minutes last year. So for me, the reason why I'm talking about this player is because a lot of Liverpool fans think this could be the guy that's going to come in and, you know, give Robbo a kick up the backside and replace Shimikas. Based on them figures, for me,
No.
Nope. Not doing it for me. Not at that price.
Plus, he looks like Drake.
We need to get a Kendrick Lamar or something like that.
I know. I've been really tuning into that Kendrick Lamar Drake feud, which is really funny.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't go for him.
When you look at his clips and stuff, he does look quite exciting, and he is quite young. And you know, again, he does play for Wolves in a different style of play. Maybe he's got the ability to be able to push these numbers up. Like he's crossing there in the low 13.8, so that means basically he hardly crosses in the ball. His expected assists is not the best. Progressive passes again 6.4, so not the best. Like I don't know. Yeah, not for me by the sounds of it. And then basically as well, the other player I wanted to talk about lastly in regards to all this has been mentioned before, Manuel Ugarte. Now, I've left Nore and Ugarte last because it was all over social media about 3 days ago, maybe 4 days ago. It might have been Friday, actually, saying that Liverpool were having meetings with Chesterfield Agency, and both of these players are represented by Chesterfield, as in Altanore and Manuel Ugarte. Now, Ugarte is a player that Liverpool were linked with heavily last year as a defensive midfielder before he made the move to PSG. And it doesn't seem to have worked out from over there, in all fairness. It looks like PSG would potentially move him on. So, yeah. I'll just go through this. So he's 23 years of age, predominantly a defensive midfielder, valued at about 50 to 55 million pounds. Manchester United are also apparently rumoured to be interested in him, and it seems to be them that's making a lot of noise surrounding him. He made the squad 51 times, but he only made 37 appearances for PSG. He had 3 assists in all comps, 0 injuries, and 7 yellow cards. His percentiles at the bottom here, guys. His duels is not too bad, 57.0, so he's in the top 50%. His defensive actions, though, are 96.9, so that is pretty high. Like, again, a very defensive midfielder. Progressive carries, 35.8, so he doesn't run too much forward with the ball. His forward passes are 27.9, so again, maybe someone who just wins the ball and passes it out wide to, like, you know, left back, right back, centre back. Forward passes percentage completed is 45%. So when he does decide to make that forward pass, he is slightly better at completing it. His key passes, so basically, you know, setting up an assist or something that leads to like an assist or anything like that, is 14.7. So again, he's not a quarterback type number 6, you know, someone like a Thiago or a Trent. He's very much in the destroyer mold of winning the ball back and moving it on. And his progressive passes was 31.6. So again, not too high. And he only played just over 2,000 minutes the whole of last year as well. So for me, out of all the 3 we've just talked about, I would take a punt on him.
So
I think he's a player that he did well in Portugal. He's gone to PSG. He's not really fitted in well by the looks of it. He's not really had as much game time as he would have expected. I see him as a potential Fabinho replacement, like a like for like.
That's what I was thinking myself when I was looking at the stats.
Because I think Fabinho was very much a defensive-minded player, and then when he came to Liverpool, he started developing that extra bit to it. I've got some comments here. Just need to catch up on these. Johnny, would be interested to see Robbo's stats before he signed. Good shout. I'll compare that. I'll do that. He went down eventually. Yeah, maybe. I'll have to wait and see. When you think the club might officially announce transfers? When there's something to talk about, to be fair.
When they've signed something.
I mean, you would think that they'd try and get someone done before they went and did... what is it? What the hell is that? You would think that they would... I don't know what that is there. Unless it's because he's put the dot there. I don't know. Maybe because he's put the .or. If they've seen it as take it as the .org, yeah, it doesn't matter. Ignore that, Gary. That's not me. That's just a bot. I would say that Liverpool would get at least one signing in before they go to America. I would say anyway. And what's this? Him and Nunes would gel well. Yeah, they would. I reckon as well. Bringing somebody in that fits Nunes. You know, you could get the best out of Nunes, make him feel like he's a bit more at home, having someone as the same nationality of him. But yeah, I do think that Ugarte could be one to watch. In all fairness, for Liverpool coming up, I do think. Yeah. So I think that for me brings me to the end of everything I've got prepped, Sean. Unless you've got anything else you'd like to talk about.
Well, I'm just after typing in something to see if it came true, or if Stream Labs was going to give out to me. But yeah, no, I've really nothing else to say. Only, you know, check out Redbubble, SD Designs 2020. There's some Alma slot stuff there, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I'll just got to see if you've got any more questions that are coming in. Remember, they said David Silva wouldn't handle Premier League. Yeah, they did, and he turned out to be probably one of the best midfielders in the Premier League era for me.
Fair, yeah.
What do you think of Kefren Turan? We have a link with him. I think the last thing I saw is he was moving to Juventus for about £15 million, literally next to nothing. He was moving over there. You think Gakpo and Jota up front with McAllister? No, don't see that happening. No. One other thing I'd say as well is I forgot to mention this in a video, but it's just popped in again now. Arne Slot's got the same. It's got the same agent as Erling Haaland and stuff like that. It's the woman that took over from Mina Raiola. I know it don't mean a lot to you guys, but just look at the players that she represents, and I'm sure Kefren Turan was one of her players. And yeah, don't know. Not sure about that. I think might be something to watch. It's called Polenta or something like that. Something Penenta, something like that. Nice, the ladies sign a Canadian. Yeah, you're in Canada, so it's good that you got a bit of representation over here. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think we'll call it here. Nearly a 2-hour stream on your return, Shauno.
I mean, look, I don't do things half-assed, and when I come back with a bang, you know, pow, right in your face, what?
You do. So yeah, guys, go give Shauno a follow on his links that are in the description on the SD Designs, is it? And there's some other people in there as well, isn't there? What's it? Is it JackDesigns or something?
JackDesigns is it .uk? He really does amazing tops, especially when Klopp was leaving. He did really amazing kind of jersey tops and trainer tops and stuff like that. So JackDesigns.uk. Then there's Wayne Henley as well, who's done a few amazing prints. He promised me he was going to send me a print of Jurgen Klopp. He did an amazing canvas of Jurgen Klopp. So he said that he'd send me one on there. But SD Designs 2020 on Redbubble. I'm also on a Facebook. No, I'm not giving you me personal Facebook because everyone would just want to swamp it and give me a booth. Where is it? SD Designs. I'm trying to find it. Sorry.
That's cool.
SD Designs, yeah. I have my LinkedIn, Adam's LinkedIn thing, so you'll see it there.
Go see in the description, guys. And then I guess we've this has been AKM Live episode 8. We have been live on X, YouTube, and Twitch. If you do have a Twitch account, go and follow over there. I do play some games sometimes. I'm a bit bored on there. Over the past couple of days, I've been streaming a few games. But other than that, guys, we'll be back next Monday around about the same time, 7:15, for episode 9 of the AKM. It'll probably be the last one we do regarding the Euros and the Copa America. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got a bit more Liverpool news to talk about regarding coaches and transfers and everything like that. So that's it from me, guys. That's it from Shauno. Hope you've all enjoyed the stream, and we'll catch you next week, guys.